Strap on your virtual seatbelts, folks, because we're about to take off on a whirlwind tour of the top 10 countries where in 2024, Americans might find the welcome mat missing. This countdown is not your typical travel guide. Instead, we're flipping the script and delving into places that, for a variety of reasons, might not be rolling out the red carpet for American travelers. From political turmoil and security risks to stringent visa requirements, these destinations present unique challenges. So, buckle up for an unforgettable trip around the globe as we navigate the less trodden paths of international travel. Starting off our countdown at number 10, we're headed to South America's jewel of chaos, Venezuela. Venezuela, the land of beauty queens and economic instability. Now don't get me wrong, this South American gem has more than its fair share of breathtaking landscapes, but it seems its government policies and economic turmoil are somewhat less appealing. This has led to a rather unpredictable visa process for our American friends, with travel advisories cautioning against non-essential travel. It's like playing roulette, but with your travel plans. The real kicker though, limited consular services. Imagine being stuck in a foreign country with little to no support from your homeland. Talk about an unwelcome adventure. So while the allure of Venezuela's tropical beaches and towering waterfalls may be hard to resist, the potential hurdles and risks might make this a destination best admired from afar. So unless you're craving a little unpredictability, you might want to steer clear. From South America, we hop across the Atlantic to the desert sands of Libya at number 9. Now, if you're an American with a penchant for ancient ruins and sun-soaked landscapes, you might want to hold your camels. Libya's political instability and security risks create a sandstorm of complications for would-be travelers. The stringent visa requirements are just the tip of the Sahara iceberg. Unpredictable is the word when it comes to Libya's visa processes, and you might find yourself in a mirage of paperwork and delays. But that's not all. Travel advisories often urge against all travel to the country, making it a tough spot for even the most seasoned globetrotters. And here's the kicker. The suspension of embassy operations complicates visa processing and consular assistance. Imagine being in a foreign land with limited support from your home country. Not exactly a picture-perfect vacation, right? Remember folks, adventure doesn't include embassy closures. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our exciting travel contents. Moving eastward, we arrive at a country that's seen more than its fair share of strife. Syria at number 8. A place where history and culture blend with the echoes of conflict, Syria's ongoing civil struggles and the presence of extremist groups have placed it high on the do not travel list. The US State Department has given Syria a level 4 warning. That's the highest level, folks, and it's not because they're winning any hospitality awards. The risk of violence, kidnapping, and a severe lack of consular services make this a less than ideal vacation spot for Americans. Strict visa restrictions further complicate matters, making it a challenging destination to even set foot in. So, unless you're a thrill seeker with an appetite for danger and a knack for navigating complex bureaucracy, Syria might not be your top pick for a travel destination. Unless you have a penchant for dodging bullets, Syria might be one to skip. Next stop, Turkmenistan sits at number 7, where the government keeps a close eye on your holiday snaps. Picture this. You finally made it to one of the most secluded countries in the world, only to be confronted with a maze of complex visa processes. Welcome to Turkmenistan, a place where travel freedom is more of a concept than a reality. The government here maintains a tight control on visa issuance and travel activities. As an American, you're likely to face these restrictions head-on. The tourism infrastructure is, let's just say, limited. So, don't expect to roam around independently because that's a big no-no here. It's all about careful planning and strict adherence to government regulations in Turkmenistan. In a world where spontaneity often defines travel, Turkmenistan stands as a stark contrast. So if you're not into government chaperones or navigating through a bureaucratic labyrinth, Turkmenistan might not be your cup of tea. Jetting off to the Arabian Peninsula, we find Saudi Arabia at number 6, where cultural norms might give Americans a bit of a culture shock. Here, conservative government policies and stringent visa requirements pose a unique set of challenges. It's not your typical tourist destination. This is a place where cultural practices are deeply embedded, and adherence to them is not just expected, it's mandated. From gender segregation in public spaces to religious observances that permeate daily life, the Saudi way of life can be an adjustment for American travelers. Compliance with government regulations and visa procedures also adds a layer of complexity to the travel experience. It's not just about getting your passport stamped, it's about understanding and respecting the customs and traditions of a country that is fiercely proud of its heritage. So, unless you're ready to embrace gender segregation and religious practices, Saudi might be a tough sell. Remember to click on the like button, your support means a lot to us. Our next destination is the Horn of Africa, specifically Eritrea at number 5, where travel freedom is more of a concept than a reality. Eritrea, a small yet fascinating country, is known for its strict controls on visa issuance and internal travel. For American travelers, this might mean a labyrinth of paperwork and permissions. Eritrea's government is much like a stern headmaster, keeping a close eye on the comings and goings within its borders. Moreover, the available consular services for Americans are quite limited, making the process even more challenging. And let's not forget the occasional tensions along Eritrea's border with neighboring countries, adding another layer of complexity to your travel plans. It's like trying to play chess on a roller coaster. Exciting, but not particularly easy. So, if you like freedom of movement, Eritrea might not be your ideal vacation spot. Next, we head to Cuba at number 4, where the mojitos are sweet, but the travel restrictions are not. Dancing to the rhythm of the salsa beats, Cuba conjures up images of old-world charm, vintage cars, and world-class cigars. However, the road to this Caribbean paradise is paved with a few bumps for American travelers. Due to the intertwined policies of both the Cuban government and U.S. regulations, navigating the travel landscape can be as complex as a Cuban rumba. Restrictions on tourism activities, financial transactions, and the necessity of complying with authorized travel categories and licensing requirements make this journey more complicated than most. These complexities are born out of a long history of political tension between the U.S. and Cuba. It's like a classic tango, a dance filled with passion, drama, and a fair bit of footwork. So unless you're ready to navigate a maze of red tape, you might want to hold off on that Cuban cigar. At number 3, nestled in the Himalayas, we find Bhutan, a paradise that's not so keen on American visitors. Bhutan, often referred to as the last Shangri-La, is a beacon of tranquility and harmony in a world that seems to be spinning faster every day. But don't be fooled by its enchanting landscapes and peaceful monasteries, because this Himalayan gem has quite the formidable barrier when it comes to American tourists. For Americans dreaming of soaking in the serene beauty of this Buddhist kingdom, the path is riddled with red tape. Bhutan's government is known for its stringent visa policies, which are designed to preserve the country's unique culture and pristine environment. This translates to a bit of a bureaucratic ordeal for those seeking to explore its verdant valleys and majestic mountains. To start with, independent travel in Bhutan is a no-go for Americans. All visitors must book their trip through a registered Bhutanese tour operator and pay a daily tariff that covers accommodation, meals, and transportation. This might not sound too bad until you realize that the tariff is a hefty $250 during high season. That's right, folks, every single day. But the hurdles don't stop there. Once you've jumped through the hoops of booking your trip and coughing up the daily tariff, you then have to wait for the royal government of Bhutan to approve your visa. And spoiler alert, they don't rush. This process can take up to a month, and the visa is only issued to travelers once full payment of the trip has been wire transferred and received in the Tourism Council of Bhutan bank account. So, if you're the spontaneous, grab your backpack and go kind of traveler, Bhutan might just be your kryptonite. But for those with a penchant for planning, patience, and a pretty sizable travel budget, the land of the Thunder Dragon could be a unique, albeit challenging adventure. So, unless you have a knack for navigating bureaucracy, Bhutan might be a tough nut to crack. Next up at number 2, we have Iran. Unfortunately, the welcome here might be a bit frosty for Americans due to the strained diplomatic relations between the two countries. Iran's government policies result in a restrictive visa process for U.S. passport holders, making it a challenging destination to explore. Moreover, the U.S. Department of State has listed Iran as a Level 4 do not travel destination due to the risk of arbitrary detention and arrest. That's right, folks. You could find yourself in a real-life spy movie, but without the glamorous Hollywood ending. So unless you're into high-stakes diplomacy, Iran might be a bit too hot to handle. But remember, this doesn't mean we can't appreciate the rich history and culture Iran has to offer from afar. As with all our destinations, we encourage respect and understanding. At number 1 on our list, we're taking a detour to the enigmatic North Korea. Now, if you thought Iran was a bit tricky, brace yourself, because the North Korean government doesn't just control the visa issuance, but your entire travel itinerary. That's right, your dream of wandering off the beaten path is a no-go here. Most travel for Americans and many other nationalities is limited to organized tours and strictly supervised visits. But that's not all. There are severe consequences for violations of local laws or regulations. We're talking about arbitrary detention and arrest, and trust us, that's not a detour anyone wants to take on their vacation. So, unless you're into strictly supervised sightseeing and following the rules to a T, North Korea might be more of a thrill than you bargained for. But as always, it's essential to remember that our countdown is not about demonizing these countries or their citizens. It's about shedding light on the challenges travelers might face. So, as we navigate these tricky travel territories, let's continue to foster respect and understanding for all cultures and countries. As we come to the end of our world tour, we've seen the volatile landscapes of Venezuela, navigated the labyrinthine visa processes in Libya, and now, we've just exited the strictly supervised terrains of North Korea. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it? Traveling is not just about the destination, it's about the journey, the experiences, and the lessons we learn along the way. We've traversed through some of the world's most challenging countries for travelers, witnessed their unique beauty, and understood the complexities that lie beneath the surface. It's important to remember that every country, no matter how unwelcoming or intimidating it may seem, is home to its own unique culture, history, and people. These places may seem daunting to visit, but they are home to millions of individuals who live, love, and dream just like us. So, as we wrap up our countdown, let's carry forward the spirit of understanding, respect, and admiration for these countries and their citizens. The world is vast and varied, and even in the most challenging corners, there is beauty to be found. So keep your travel spirits high and continue to explore, but always remember to respect the boundaries and customs of the places you visit. Well, there you have it, folks, a whirlwind tour of the top 10 countries where Americans might find the entry gates locked in 2024. Thanks for coming along on this trip. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss our next exciting destination. Safe travels, folks!